Today we have Kellie from season 45. What the hell, guys? I mean, I know that that's said all the time to you.
Yeah,
and
honestly.
I wasn't even going to bring it up, but then I was like, everyone will know who I'm talking about because there's been a couple Kellies on Survivor.
That's true. That's fair. But honestly,
But there's only
Tyson,
been what the hell, guys, Kellie.
There's only one what the hell, guys, Kellie. And there's also only one Kellie spelled with an IE, which is my defining feature. But honestly, I kind of expected a better, more creative intro from you. And what the hell, guys? Everyone says what the hell, guys, to me.
Kellie Nalbandian, as we know her.
Oh, okay. That's a very good pronunciation of my last name. Did I get it right? You did. You got it perfectly right.
Hey. Dude, come on.
You could sit in Jeff's chair instead of Rome.
That's right. I never got the I never got the opportunity, but I also never really pushed for it. Kellie, before we get into episode 10 here, lots of people everywhere I go, if they recognize me on the street and they're watching this season of Survivor, they are saying this is the best season of the new era. Agree or disagree, and why?
Well, I feel like the meta right now is that season 45 is the best season of the new era. Which, you know,
is that just you, or is that like what you're hearing on the streets?
That's what I'm hearing on the streets. I mean, maybe people are blowing smoke up my ass, but I think that's all over the streets.
Okay.
So I'm feeling a little threatened, right? I like our position as the top dog, but I will say I am enjoying the season. I think the strategy is very fun. I like how it's very fluid and open, which is sort of like a direct contrast to like the Reva 4 dominance on our season. You got to see how it ends. It's a little early to call it.
It is early to call it. That's like, fair. I thought that too. Like, I'm hearing that, and I do love the season, but also it's like, as the end game draws near, that's going to really determine whether or not it's the greatest of the new era. Dirtiest season of all time.
Dirtiest season.
Since the peanut butter and the shower. Are you too young to remember that?
What was that from?
Even before me, there was, I think, the All-Stars or one of those seasons.
Okay.
Jeff offered 2 women peanut butter to shower together. You don't remember that?
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that season. I haven't seen about 8 seasons of Survivor, and that's one of them.
Okay.
Wow. Yikes.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's yikes. Okay.
So this is second dirtiest. This is dirtiest of the new era.
Okay. You know what? They can't be the best, so they can be the dirtiest.
Yeah.
There we go. Everyone's happy. That's a compromise.
They might not be happy. They might prefer the best over the dirtiest.
Well, I'm assigning them that they are happy with this. Yeah. I think it's a really interesting kind of like viewpoint into like 2 extreme ways to play the game, right? Like someone who's just like, I am not going to feel anything, Ice Queen. And then someone who's like, I'm feeling everything. And then they end up in this sort of de facto alliance together based on where they were. So it's very interesting coming together. I think probably the sweet spot somewhere in the middle of them two, because I think by design, Survivor is an emotional and social game. And so you can't shut everything off, right? So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to end up for the 2 of them, but it's a very, it's a good intersection of like very dichotomous ways to play Survivor. And you're like, oh my God, this is what I've dreamed of on the couch, like, woohoo. And then when it actually happens, it doesn't feel great. Like even when I didn't even know Sifu very well. But because of that whole like, oh, he's not going to make the jury, I felt surprisingly guilty about what I was doing. When I went at home, I was like, I don't give a crap. I would literally slit anyone's throat to win this game, which is like, I think there could be still a truth that Genevieve is living, is that like, you could be ruthless and actually do that, but still feel bad about it. It's just like the place to have that emotion is in your confessional, or, you know, play it up on purpose so that people don't think that you're some like total robot, because honestly, like how people are going to vote. Yeah. You know, like people do vote in the end for a winner emotionally a lot of times. They pretend that it's strategy but I think very few people are only voting strictly on gameplay. And so how you make people feel, people will always remember.
Reward challenge. We have 3 teams of 3.
Yeah.
We got the ball licking out of the way already, which is the bulk of it, which is, you know, slow-mo, lots of time, super exciting.
Gross.
Is there a scenario where it's better? Yes.
What's happening?
We just had a party. Did you do something like,
I think I was just sitting here like this, like pensively staring into your eyes. I don't know.
Yeah. And that it knew that balloons is what we wanted. AI.
More balls, more,
Balls. Yeah. Oh, we were talking about balls. That's right. So.
Literally? That's crazy. I hate coconut. Like before I left, one of my highest concerns was I like almost all foods. I hate coconut. I hate coconut flavored things. I hate coconut drinks. I hate coconut water. I hate it all. I ate it. I ate it all the time. I actually ended up towards the end cutting up coconut chunks and swallowing it like a pill because I could barely stomach to eat the coconut. But I did it because survival and improving my odds at the games. I feel like you could handle a little mayo, Tyson.
But I'm not going to. Why would I? Like I can
you just
get
wipe
through.
It off also?
Yeah, just wipe the mayo off.
Right? No, I will wipe it off, but there cannot be any residue of mayo touching anything I put in my mouth.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
so anti-mayo. And so for me, like, that's a hard stance. Like I'm taking, like I have a code, and I will live by that code, whether I'm starving or not. Brandon, and I don't even know if I can say this, but I'm going to. I think Brandon's fine with this. Brandon from your season,
of course,
said, you know what the problem is with the new era is everybody asking Jeff if they can do a thing. Like, can I do a dance? Can I do? Can I sit in a chair? Can I do this? Can I do this? It's like, yeah, just do it. This is
going to be the hot take here. Yeah, I agree with Brandon there. I don't know. It's a little cringy to ask, right? You want it to be offered to you, right? Yeah. It's like begging someone to be in an alliance versus someone being like, hey, you want to work together? That feels better, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I might have asked. I don't even remember if I might have asked Jeff for something like, can I do this? But it's not a new thing. But this season, I think it's happening a lot where people are asking, can I do this? And then it's like not consequential to anything.
It's just it's for fun for them. It's kind of like for
shout
the
out at home. And probably like Gabe doing that dance makes him a little bit more of a hero in Baltimore.
Yeah, I think it's nice to shout out your hometown. That's great. I think that's really sweet. You know, especially
you can do that right here, right now. You want to shout out your hometown?
My hometown? Actually, this is great because you know who went home last week? Saul, who lives in my hometown of Western Connecticut. Very small town. It was extremely bizarre that he lived there. So yeah, let's go. If you're from Connecticut and you say what the hell guys on TV, you will go out in 10th place. So if you live in Weston and want to be on Survivor, I would move.
Guaranteed 10th place?
10th place, Yeah. That's like the America's Sweetheart spot, though, is what I'm running with.
What's the population there?
I don't even know. Like maybe 9,000, 10,000?
9 or 10,000? You have a 1 in 9 or 10,000. No, a 2 in 9 or 10,000 shot of getting on the show.
Like that's crazy. It was like that's really wild. It was really weird. He's not from there, but like nobody is from my town. Like it's very small. It is like a New York City suburb, so fine. I feel like that whole general area, lots of Survivor players. But this was like my high school, my graduating class was like 180. Like it's a small town.
Wow.
We went and met up this week at the single commercial establishment in the whole town. So it was, I forget how we got here, but yeah, shout out. I don't have a Ray Lewis dance to do, but Saul and I signed the board in our local restaurant. So, it doesn't get better than that.
Is Saul as beloved in person as he is on
Absolutely.
TV?
He does. He lives up to the hype.
Good.
He's a good egg. I feel like your vote is ultimately more powerful than like a Hail Mary 1 in 6 shot. I think it's more like the grand scheme. Like, okay, maybe it incentivizes you to like just really like blindside and like dig the knife in more because like you're always worried, like, what if they play their shot in the dark? The other way that it really affects the game is like if someone thinks they're going home and they're not, you have to really make sure that they're not going to play their shot in the dark. Or if they're already convinced, then that's it. You've lost a vote. I mean, this is what happened to me on the week that I went out. Like Jake was so convinced he was going home. There was nothing I could say that would convince him to, and I was like, I needed his vote and I didn't have it. So like, I don't love the shot in the dark overall, but I'm just saying, I'm surprised that Jeff went for this. Cause I think it's another like layer of complication to the game that makes people play more aggressively in general, I think, versus more conservatively. So that's why I was surprised, but I feel like Jeff's still waiting for the moment. Yes, we had Caleb's hit for the moment where the shot in the dark hits and then the player doesn't go home afterwards, like, and then it changes the game forever, right? Like that's the dream of the shot in the dark, and that hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean the design is specifically to have people keep their mouth shut. I've gone over this in the past. It's like, there's too many times where you're like, hey, you're going home. I'm so sorry that you're on the jury. Like, here's my hand squeezed to signal to you that you're out. Like, sending you love, nothing I can do. Yeah. And so then that like takes the whole shock value of the entire episode away. Yep. And so, that's why the shot in the dark is there. I think at this point in the game, I also think that people's hesitancy to give up their shot in the dark made it better for Jeff. Like that, as soon as you see someone kind of like, I don't know if I want to, and then Jeff's like, okay, yeah. Because he knows that you get that moment with Gabe and Sam.
Yeah, interesting.
And I also thought it was interesting where Gabe was fully convinced he had swayed Sam, and Sam was like, whatever. Like, Gabe didn't convince me. Like, what convinced me is that like the whole group's here and we're talking about this whole fitting in with the group. He's on the wrong. He's too low on the neck. Can't feel the pulse.
Yeah, gotta be right here.
You got it right there. You would know better than
I would know.
Anybody. Yeah. Also, a pulse in your thumb. Don't take the pulse with your thumb.
Nope.
Wrong.
Then you're getting double pulse.
Very good medical advice on this podcast, as well as legal advice. Anyway,
it's all there. It's all there.
This is a one-stop shop for everything you could ever need.
Yes, it's not just about Survivor here. If you're into legalities or any type of medical interests, this is where you come.
Beauty advice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Beauty advice is next.
Yes. Contouring with Sue.
Contouring. We already covered
that's right.
No problem. Well, that's hard because I knew that there was a point where you were a fan of me, Tyson. Yeah. I was your winner.
You were my winner pick from day one.
And that reel, you were talking about all the great reasons that I would be such a fantastic Survivor player.
Yeah, that must have messed with your brain a lot, knowing that you'd failed me without being.
Yeah, it was actually specifically just you, like that was the one that really did it, was Tyson, not like everyone else on the internet.
Yeah.
It was boring to pick me. Do you remember that? Everyone was like bandwagon. Everyone's picking Kellie.
I got it pretty early though. Like
you were
bandwagon.
An early adopter.
Yeah,
I was. Who was the earliest? Omer was pretty early. You were pretty early. And then, so maybe you were just you're the influencer.
I was the pioneer.
Everyone. Yeah. Of course.
But I mean, you look at you look at people's backgrounds, and you need them to have dealt with a wide variety of people, which your profession gives you. You have to assume people that like have been dealing with people in high stress situations, and also themselves are in high stress situations. And then, so you have to look at all of that and then look at their verbal interviews and decide whether or not that person is likable. Too aggressive.
You like me, Tyson?
Yeah. I mean, I'm watching the videos. I'm like, yeah, she's likable. People are going to like her. Like, that's easy. So that's another check mark. Is she self-aware enough to know her strengths and maybe even her weaknesses? Yes, that's a check mark. So you have this list of things you go through, and you have very limited stuff to go off of. So
I'm honored.
I agree too. I think if if he can be out in the open enough with it where he gets credit, open credit, then he's good. Otherwise,
who was your winner pick this time, Tyson?
This episode?
This season.
This season, at the start of the season, who did I have? Ashley,
who was me?
It might have been Rachel.
I think it might have been Rachel.
I feel like that's a similar pick to me. You know what I mean? It's like same vibe.
The new era, you have to find someone who's under the radar, but intelligent enough to know to be like the ocean, not the captain of the ship.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's like, Rachel said that very eloquently. That's like, I always say, like, you want to be the beta. You want to encourage the alphas to do the moves, and you want to be the bug in their ear that's mind controlling them and make them, put their foot in their mouth and take all the heat for all this stuff for as long as possible. But then at a certain point, you do need to jump into the ship and start steering.
There's a lot of bugs this season.
Yeah, lots of bugs. Brain parasite.
I think it's so great though. It's so that's like my favorite. This is my favorite kind of strategic Survivor. It's like a wide open game. in terms of a viewer's perspective. Like,
unless Kyle wins all the way out to the end.
Yes, then yeah.
That's
sorry,
different.
Kyle. Have you ever read the 48 Laws of Power, Jason?
I don't read.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, anyway,
I did used to read. I don't read that much anymore. Should I read the 48 Laws of Power?
I don't know.
Or do I already have most of them?
I think you got some of them.
Some of them.
You definitely have some good ones. Yeah, we could talk later. But
I might have some that aren't even listed.
That's true. You could make the 50 or 50 for Survivor 50, Laws of Power. There you go. That's your next podcast, Tyson. Anyway, there's like this idea of like, you lull someone, you do the same thing 9 times. On the 10th time, you do something different. This is what happened to Gabe. He should have read the book.
He should have read the book, but how does he know they wouldn't have hit him on the 9th time instead of the 10th time?
That's a great question, Tyson. That's why you're writing the next book. Law 1 is called Never Outshine the Master. And so that's what I'm doing right here. I'm not outshining you.
Yeah.
And I'm boosting your ego by design. Absolutely.
The next boot.
Kyle.
Yeah, I think we already talked about it. It's got to be Kyle.
Yeah,
okay,
Kyle.
So what if Kyle wins immunity? Again.
Oh.
If Kyle wins immunity again, then
Genevieve?
Could be Genevieve. I think it's probably Genevieve, or maybe Sam gets a little ego again and then starts trying
for his britches,
trying to control stuff too early with Andy and stuff.
I could see that. And then Rachel's like, "Oh, you already screwed me over once. I don't care.
Exactly.
Let's do this." Okay.
But I think it would probably be Kyle. Kyle, Genevieve, or Sam. Genevieve could have skated by, and then like sometimes you skate by and you get through that pivotal weird moment, and then people forget about you for a little while as you like kind of cower and hunker into
she
like
needs to like lay low
a cocoon.
Bit. Yeah. If she keeps controlling more votes, then she kind of got a gift here. So it's like what she does if she can actually go slightly under the radar and not be the driver for a few, then that's how she could get further. So
right.
Yeah, we'll
absolutely.
See.
All right, then what are your winner picks after this episode?
Ooh. I think right now it's more clear that Caroline could win, but I still feel like if Rachel steps into a position and chops out the person that she needs to and takes credit for it or gets credit for it, she is great. I think it's probably between those two. I'd say right now, probably Caroline, honestly. She recognized she needed to jump ship, and she did at the right moment where everyone's gunning for Gabe. And now she's set herself up to then hopefully have some input on who gets voted out next. And if she can do that a little bit leading into the finale, I think she's good.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
I
think, Caroline and Rachel would be the front runners for me right now. I feel like Andy's getting a lot narratively, so you have to consider him in the realm of possibility there, depending on what happens. But I think this is like I feel like that the 3 girls, like Genevieve, Rachel, and Caroline, like I really am enjoying. I feel like they're like the strategic pushers of this game, which I think is so fun. It's like 3 women who are really like kind of at the forefront in terms of the like, even if it's a bit subtle at times, maybe not in Genevieve's case, like subtle strategic play. I think that's great. Maybe it is the best season.
It's the best season. You heard it here first.
Uh-oh.
If Genevieve gets to the end, she has a very strong case. She could also win. I think
true. Absolutely.
We're going to see what happens next week. If Kyle goes, I think I might have to choose Genevieve next week. But for right now, what we saw, I have to say Caroline.
Yeah. And probably if Kyle goes, not much will change in terms of everyone will be on the board about Kyle. Great. So it's like basically we're still at the same playing field where we are right now.
But it gives more hope to Genevieve.
Oh, absolutely. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And had he won this season doing that, and gone to season 50, he would have been a very easy target because he would have just assumed everything works out. I just got to be me and do my thing.
That is some people's Survivor experience. Things just work out.
Isn't that crazy?
Crazy. Can you imagine that?
Yeah. No, I cannot. I cannot. And if you have won the game one time in the new era, you should stay away from the game forever.
Whoa.
And if you have won the game of Survivor, you should not go back unless you love the game so much so much that you don't care if you look like a doofus, or you don't care if like your reputation as a Survivor player is tarnished because they get you. Like,
that's true.
It's like anybody who's just won the game, great. They did something to get there, but also things just worked out in some one or two situations.
There's
or
an
three
element
or four.
of both. Yeah, exactly.
You won a flip of the coin a couple times in some scenarios, and you won. And losing those flips doesn't feel great.
Yeah, lightning, hard to strike twice.
Yes. So
you're Sandra.
I guess so. Yep. True lightning.
As a person with one of the most common names ever, Ashley. It's just spelled a little funny, but Ashley.
Yes, we share this thing. Yeah, spelled a little funny.
Yeah.
We get a little extra spice on the
little spicy on the name,
the basic name.
Still just like, it's cool to have cooler names for sure. So
agreed. Well
good
done.
Choice.
Honestly, I don't know if I met that many Kellys in my life, but then like there's so many Survivor Kellys.
You do a whole tribe. You can do a
tribe?
whole
Kelly tribe.
6-pack tribe of Kellys.
14 or 13 of us. It's like
you could do a whole tribe of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you could do Kellys versus
season
what's
51.
what's the most common male name on Survivor?
I don't think there's enough to do. I don't think
not
there's
enough
8.
Mikes. There's got to be a lot of Mikes.
Oh, maybe there's enough Mikes actually.
Mike Turner, Dr.
Gabler.
Mike.
Isn't Gabler a Mike?
We got a lot already. 3 lined up.
Mike versus Kelly, season 51.
That is better than season 50.
I love it. Make it season 50.
Mm-hmm. Oh. You could change your name to Mike Tyson in time to play on the season with me.
Do I want to? Is that what I want?
Not right now.
We'll see.
No, not right now. He's a loser.
Wow.
What else we got?
That's it.
That's it. All right. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us.
That's great.
Yeah, really great. Thank you all for tuning in and listening. Let us know if you would forego mayo, even if you were almost starving to death, but not to death. Just
definitely
starving.
The most nutritious thing you could ever have would be mayonnaise. Yeah.
I'd puke it all up anyways, and then I'd lose even more than So
there you go. The rationale is absolutely sound.
Yeah.
No for me. No mayo. Until next week. See ya.